usually start my days, like I usually get up around 5:20. Sorry, I'm whispering so I don't wake up my husband. But I usually get up around 5:10, 5:20. I'll do like a 5-minute makeup and I'll just throw on something comfortable because I know that I'm going to be changing into scrubs anyway, so who cares? And then I pretty much always eat something, like some sort of breakfast at home, and then I grab my lunch, and I always make, just my own lunchbox because I don't always have time to leave the unit to go and get something in the cafeteria. Like, you never know how long you're really gonna have for lunch. And then I always bring my own coffee because you can save a lot of money bringing your own coffee. Once in a while I treat myself and get a coffee, and sometimes if I'm having like one of those days where I really need a second cup of coffee, I will go and get another cup. But like, I'm bringing a thermos of coffee, so it's not like it's just 1 cup of coffee. It's probably more like 2 or like 1.5 at least. So yeah, I bring a whole thermos here. Here. Thermos of coffee that I bring every day. And so yeah, basically what I usually do is I set out my clothes the night before, and I pack my bag the night before, and I pick my scrubs and I put them in my bag, and I pretty much do everything ahead of time. And the reason I do that is just because then the next morning it really only takes me like half an hour to get ready, and I'm pretty slow. Like, I'm not a quick person in the morning. Like, I kind of dilly-dally a little bit just because I'm busy filming YouTube videos. No, I'm just kidding. Usually I'll just have like cereal or something, a very simple breakfast. I'm not very hungry in the morning. I usually feel a little bit nauseous, and so I will just have a little bit of food, like basically forcing myself to eat something, because otherwise you starve on the unit if you don't force yourself to eat something, because it's long. Like, it's probably not going to be until maybe like 10 a.m. before I get a chance to eat, and it's like 6 now. I lost the cat for milk. Great. Here it is. So yeah, so you have to force yourself to eat even if you don't want to. Okay, I'm gonna eat and I'll get back to you. Okay, here we go. For the day. It's very dark out because it's dark in this area at night. Okay, I'll see you in the car. Hey guys, so I had to wait because it was so dark out that like you really couldn't see a thing. So now I'm just almost at work. Don't worry, I'll have you propped up in like a little area on my car, so I'm watching the road, so I won't really be watching the camera too much because I have to focus. But basically I thought it would be nice to give like a quick update on what's going on with work, since the last video, or like 2 videos ago, I was explaining how like things were kind of not working out with my first job, which is sort of upsetting, and kind of like one of the things I guess that happens to new nurses sometimes is like you take a chance, you take a position, and sometimes it doesn't work out. And that's kind of what happened to me. Is like I took a really difficult position, and I knew that taking a position in the ER and one of the busiest ERs was going to be really hard, and it also turned out to be like a really busy time of year, and really like an unusually high like busy time. So like it's busy in the winter, but it was like an extremely busy time. So I got kind of unlucky, and they told me like it was unfortunate timing, and they said like if it had been summer it would have been okay. But anyways, so since then I moved to a a different position. So I stayed at the same hospital, but I took a position on an ER like overflow unit and a medicine unit. So it's actually a floor, a nursing floor, and not the ER, but it receives ER patients. Sorry, my scarf is like enormous. So basically patients that are coming from the ER but like need a little bit more care, and need a few more days or possibly like a week or so of care, or patients who are medicine patients are going to go up to this floor. And so it's like a mix. There's two different like services that the patients could be under. So it's a really great learning opportunity for a new nurse. And so far so good. I've been there for about a week, and it's going well. They only gave me about like 8 days to train, since I had like quite a bit of training in the ER. They only gave me a little bit of time to kind of get my bearings on this unit, which I had kind of mixed feelings about. Like, obviously I didn't want to have a ton of training time just because I'd already been through like 23 days of training in the ER. So it was like I didn't want to be precepted for a super long time in another place, but at the same time I was nervous because if I don't figure it out in 8 days, sorry to block my face, but if I don't figure it out in 8 days, then what's going to happen to me at that point? So yeah, there was mixed feelings for sure, but so far like I'm halfway through and it seems to be going fine, so I'm not too worried that I'm going to have any issues, but it's nerve-wracking for sure. I think there's a lot of emotions when you first start, and I've noticed this. Like, I talked to a lot of my colleagues who graduated school with me, and kind of they all said sort of the same thing, you know, like some of them had similar experiences to me where they started and it didn't really work out and they ended up having to go somewhere else, and some of them loved where they are, not loved, but love where they are. But at the same time, like the precepting experience, sorry to block my face, was difficult, and they, like when they were going through it, it felt like they might not make it. It also depends a lot on like the preceptors that you get and the educator that you have on your unit, and like the attitude of the floor. Like, a lot of things are out of your control. A lot of things are in your control for sure, but a lot of things are out of your control. So like I've been very lucky. My educators have all been amazing. My preceptors have been really, really good. Like, I save a couple. I've had basically all really good preceptors, but I definitely have had some friends that have had some negative experiences where the preceptors have been unhelpful or have been like catty almost, like they don't really want them to work there, or that they're like unhappy that, like, because some units, I mean, nurses know this, some units, they have a constant flow of new people and it's like turnover all the time, and it gets frustrating for nurses because it's like new people all day long, and I think that nurses get tired of having to train new people, and they get tired of always seeing new faces. And so I think that can sometimes create like a culture of people being like frustrated and a little bit protective, where they're like, they don't really want to have new people in, which is like pretty understandable actually. But when you're that new nurse training, and you just want to be accepted, I can imagine like that can be really daunting and really hard. I've been lucky to not experience that, but definitely it's something that I've seen, like when I was rotating all over the place, like that is definitely an attitude that I saw in some nurses for sure. Like 100% I saw that attitude exist. Kind of like a never-ending story though. Like, you keep the sort of situation just keeps going. You graduate nursing school, and then you need to find a job, and then you need to train at your job, and then you need to graduate the nursing exam, or like pass the nursing exam for the government, and you have to pass your preceptorship at your job, and you have to, there's often exams. So in my case, like, there's exams at work that you have to pass in order to be like certified for a bunch of different things, and if you don't pass those certifications, like, that's a problem. And so it's like there's just like constant exams and constant studying and like testing, I guess, of your ability to like survive as a nurse. And then like the conditions are also difficult, so it's hard. Anyways, I'm gonna try to find a parking spot